Lovecraft Country episode 5 review. Guys, we just did extensive breakdown of everything in this new episode. There was, well, in the end, quite some in it. For the people watching that haven't seen it yet, we have on the channel, well, there should be by this time now already a breakdown and a recap of episode 5. For the people that are new to our channel, we do this each week, making recaps, reviews, and breakdowns. So subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel if you aren't subscribed yet. But yeah, review of this episode, Lovecraft Country, episode 5, Strange Case. Who may I give the word? Put your finger up. Sven, yeah? We're going to give Sven the word. Sven, what was your... what did you think?
Finger up, Koen.
Yeah, two words, Sven.
For you. I really loved the way they did storytelling with changing into another person, which could be another skin or another gender. I found that really interesting way of storytelling. I really enjoyed it because in the beginning I felt also the uncomfortable feeling that it was a bit nasty, a bit dirty horror to watch.
You want to look away a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And later on, I really enjoyed it. I found it at some way having also an aesthetic at some point. But especially the last scene, I also named it already in the breakdown, where Ruby is finally deciding to that she made the decision that she wanted to stay black, and then there's a really long, well, quite a long close-up sequence that she's ripping apart her white skin and coming out black again, and yeah, that was really a strong way of symbolism for me, and I really enjoyed that. And the most beautiful scene for me, we also discussed it a lot, and I think we all agree on it, was the scene where Montrose could overwin his personal fight and accept his homosexuality, it seems. And well, these two elements together, they made for me really special feeling about this episode, and I really found it beautiful done.
Yeah, Koen?
Yeah, I agree with the last part that Sven says immediately, like especially the scene, which I didn't expect when it started, but already the love scene between the struggling love scene after that Montrose was beat up, and then he has sex. I think not for the first time, but it was already more. I think for them also more special, because I think like Sonny tried already something. He tried to kiss him. Yeah. It was very nicely and classy done, and then which was for me a bit refreshing. You know, I don't know why, but as a man that is not homosexual, I never had problems with watching like men having sex on TV, but it was never the way. I never saw a scene like this. So for me, it was really, I don't know, it was really classy, and to see the way that he accepted. I think what Sven said, he accepted himself for being how he is and what he feels and what he wants. It was very nicely done, and it was a beautiful scene, and I didn't expect it when it started. I was just thinking, okay, where's this going to lead to? I wasn't expecting anything, but I didn't expect something so beautiful to come out of it. So the acting was very good, the everything, and also that I even felt like I want to be in that room. You know, it was such a nice ballroom, and
yeah.
It was very cool, and no, that was very nice. I have still a bit of a problem with the show that I like I very respect a lot, and I'm very excited about seeing the rest of the season to see how much they can put in there in terms of like what we talk about a lot, the layering behind the characters, behind all the subjects that they take on, like feminism, like for fight, all the struggles that also today we still have, and it's very lively debate, of course, now, and things happening. The only issue for me still is what's funny to see finally, because we talked about it last time, that I said it seems like nobody is struggling from the characters, like, okay, guys, what the fuck just happened? You know, those moments don't happen. And now Ruby was, for the first time when she woke up in bed, she was like, I have a bit struggling to accept magic or something. I have to deal with this a bit. It was the first time in the show actually someone was actually thinking for 1 second like, okay, guys, what the fuck just happened? But they don't show it at all for the rest. And of course, what she sees is something so outrageous, and they clearly chose not to really show the human factor of standing still, thinking as a normal person, like, guys, what the fuck is happening? Because before she met these people, she never saw magic in her life, of course. So an element for me still a bit strange. It's not annoying, but maybe I would have liked to see it differently, because I always like movies or scenes where people find out like unnatural stuff or supernatural stuff, and they deal with that, in their minds. I like also the struggle, but of course this show, because you explained it very good, boss. It's about the other stuff mainly they want to focus on.
Yeah, the subtext.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I will be honest, the episode itself was good, but if that scene, for instance, with Montrose with the drag queen, with that scene, if it wasn't in it, I would have not liked the episode so much, because it was a bit slow in the beginning, I thought. And what do you think?
No, I liked this episode. I really liked how they worked on the theme of metamorphosis. As well Montrose as Ruby, but also Tick with his rage. They all have different personalities, so to say. They're struggling with who they are or who they want to be. I find that theme very well worked out. But I was a bit disappointed with what you also say, Koen, is how slow this was. Each episode in this series is a standalone story, more or less. And there's standalone themes and a standalone story to tell. But we're now in episode 5. And we're going now into the last half of the season. And by now, I want to see it a bit more progressing. I don't want to stand still each episode and focus on something. I want to keep going now.
Yeah, the thing is a bit, where's the red line, of course. And if you can compare it to the show, we also watched, all three of us, like Biohackers, where like after 5 episodes, you already saw 2 seasons, So that's the thing. But if I want to hook 1 second into what you say now, for me, also what's fun, liked a lot, the team, of course, like, I liked a lot to see like the thought of this black woman can finally see and enjoy their white privileges. That was very nicely done. But the thing, especially in that moment, okay, like leave the part that she is not so surprised at the magic. Okay, that's one thing. But also, I would like to see the psychology behind Ruby, that she would talk to Letty, maybe like, my God, I transformed to a white woman. That's one thing. That's already like, it should be discussed or whatever. But especially to discuss with someone, my God, these white people, they have it so much better. Like, I would have loved to see the psychology behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then you want it more spelled out, so to say. For me, that doesn't have to be. I like subtext, but I want to see the story being kicked a bit more into second gear. I want to, like we saw Hippolyta in the last episode. Well, we already mentioned in there. She was not in this episode. Yeah. Like, I would have liked to cut maybe a bit more between this and maybe Hippolyta there. No. Like, I have a feeling we're ramping up to a finale now, because we're getting now into the second half. So I hope that at least from now on, we will slowly lose a bit this, okay, we're going to do one theme, one story, and it's more or less an isolated story where we put in some hints for what's to come. I think they have to start speeding it up.
I don't think they will do that. Maybe they will speed it a bit up, but I think they clearly chose every episode a different theme. And the problem is that maybe they didn't put the storyline good enough. Now, actually, I think before this episode, it wasn't such a problem, I think, because it's
you still...
Yeah, but no, maybe it is, because I think... Let's say the first 2 till they reach the house of Braithwaite, and they see Christina and the other guy William. They come back a little bit weird in episode 3, I think. No, when they meet each other, when he tries to shoot her. It was in episode 3, I think, or not?
And who tries to shoot who?
When Tick tries to shoot Christina and he cannot hurt her.
Yeah, that's episode 3, at the end of episode 3.
Yeah, so actually episode 1 was all about this stuff. Episode 2 was, of course, something else again, of episode 3. And then episode 3, you remember the end of the episode again. Okay, so it has to do still with Christina. She's back somehow. And then in episode 4 also, she is not at all, I think, almost, or a little bit. Nice. So
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
They
They each time speed up a bit and then they stand still a whole episode. I would like to see them more going onto the road now, going into the story, and then you can still get into those themes and make
from each other a bit, maybe. Yeah,
exactly. So that was my disappointment a bit with this episode, because I think it's a well done episode. If you compare it with the ones that came before, if this was the second or the third one or the fourth, but by now I was feeling like, okay, we're now in episode 5.
Standalone is good, but it's missing. Yeah, it's not together with the story maybe a bit. Yeah,
exactly. And then I had we talked about it already in detail in the breakdown. That one scene I felt a bit like, yeah, okay, maybe a bit. They went a little bit overboard there. The scene with Ruby.
Yeah.
So there were some things that I didn't like, but I really liked the metamorphosis theme. I think that was really worked out well. So overall, it was again a very good episode and very good way of storytelling. But I just hope that they will, from now on, speed it up a bit and not stand still anymore.
Okay, and the thing is also, the strange thing is, we all said, 3 of us last week, that we would expect it to be science fiction, and it was of course not at all.
Well, maybe that was also part of my disappointment, because I of course like science fiction
or whatever.
Yeah, so I was a bit ready for time travel kind of things.
Well, and I can already predict you're going to be disappointed again, because I've seen a teaser or a trailer of the 6th episode.
Okay.
Tell us.
I've seen that he's going to Korea.
Wow.
Okay.
Or I was not sure if it was a flashback episode, like how they met, but she was working in a hospital, and she also was she had some magic in her body, because there was coming a snake out of her ear, and the snake we have seen in episode 2, remember?
Yeah.
And for the rest, I also was kind of, do I want to see all this? Because you know,
you want to be surprised each week,
Yeah. So, but I think there's not coming then the science fiction yet, and there's also not coming then a lot of continuum on the storyline, Bas, as you wished.
Right.
So
they have to come with Hippolyta next episode. You expect now, You cannot wait. You put it on hold for 2 episodes. It's already strange that you put them. It was the end of last episode.
Yeah, it was the end. Yeah.
It's very strange that you don't continue with them in that car with a beautiful shot. It's strange. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other hand, the 2nd episode, things were really going too fast for us.
It was really strange.
And now they deeped out something.
Slowed a bit down.
I actually liked, because it was also getting clear what now the position was of Christina and William.
Yeah, that's true.
So things there were things worked out, and there's this Lancaster guy. I think from 7 on, then things are falling in place.
Yeah. I hope it already changes a little bit. They don't have to go full speed now, but I don't want to walk within just one story. I want to have the feeling that I'm starting to be more part of something, a bigger story, so to say.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with we give them credits for all the cool references, which is very impressive, and all the themes they want to handle. But I think if we can look now a bit after 5 episodes, I agree with you, but I think they're because they're doing too much in a good way. They want to do too much. Yeah. And they lose track of actually the story maybe a little bit.
A bit.
The red line.
Yeah, that risk is there. Yeah, I found it already in episode 2 where there was at the moment I could quit.
I was like, what the hell's happening here? Yeah.
And then episode 3 put me back on track. Yeah, they want to do a lot. Also with genres, from fantasy to horror.
Which also makes, of course, that they're a bit more bounded they have their boundaries each episode, which they can't go out. So that makes that it also feels much more self-contained, because they are all different genres, which makes them a bit more disconnected from each other.
Yeah, but that's a strange thing. That's if you say criticism for this episode, that why I didn't even understand fully the the short scenes with Letty and Tick, because we had less episode. If I remember, it was only about Letty and Tick and Montrose.
Yeah.
Even Indiana Jones movie, which was really awesome. Like, and then I don't think you can, but I don't think you should go from following that line and also them struggling the episode before in the house, and then suddenly it's only Ruby. Like it was
maybe that was the trouble that I had here. Now that you say, so, I feel like maybe that's why I felt like mostly with this episode now I'm going to a side path.
That's the
so
thing,
to
like,
say, instead of staying on the main road.
Exactly, Ruby's story is super interesting, and the team behind it is beautifully done, and it's worth also what Sven said. They can make movies out of this. Is also right about this, but then they should have made that the side story, and then not put only the focus on Tick and Letty, following again with the science in Korea, whatever maybe. But it was too little now compared to the last 2 episodes, and also compared to how little space they put in this episode now. Oh.
Yeah, to make clear what they did and how they worked on their themes, they did very well. Of course, it was a very well crafted episode on its own again. But as part of the bigger thing, I have a bit of trouble with it.
Maybe the balance was a bit too far, and I think that's a problem with people that's like clearly they have huge imagination and creativity. These guys, and I think they lost maybe with this episode a little bit like track.
But is the bigger thing or the bigger theme you mentioned, is that not based on main characters and this kind of film rules, but more on the message they want to bring?
Yeah, that might very well be, of course. That's like I said, that everything is about the message they want to tell. But then still, I think they can connect things. If they really want to do it perfect, then you do it both. And that's why we have to be critical, I think. You can say, like, because they are telling a bigger story. Otherwise, they should just have said, we have 10 episodes, and each episode is a story on its own. But they choose...
exactly.
They choose to connect things. They choose to tell a bigger story.
And they could have done that perfectly, because they have all the standalone, they would have worked. But that's the problem. They have that red line, and I felt this is the first episode they lost a bit track of it. Yeah.
But
you agree, Sven, or do you think it's not so black and white as we think?
I'm not unpleasant by it or disappointed by it yet. So I do understand your analysis.
But it didn't annoy you, or
it didn't annoy me yet. No, okay. I missed a bit Hippolyta because, in the 4th episode. The Ore was a thing.
Also,
and she had it, and she was deciphering it, or she was going on a venture to do some research about it.
Yeah.
Yes, but the episode was good enough not to feel disappointed.
No, and of course, like I said, it's still a very good series and a very good episode on its own. So maybe it's overcritical, but I did feel a bit like, okay, it's very well done, and then there's maybe also because you get used to the quality, you get used to how it works, and those kind of things, that I feel like, okay, now I want something extra. I want to get more into the story. I get the themes and the messages you're telling now, and but I want something more now. Let's speed it up. But
no, it's true. Do you guys think, because the ratings are going a bit down, which I don't fully understand, I think this is one of the most intriguing shows I've seen in a long time.
It's complex. Yeah. It's very complex. It's not for broad audiences, I think.
No, that I understand. But even like Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. But I think this should go up for Emmys. I think easily, no?
Yeah, definitely.
The acting, the cinematography, like everything.
The themes and how also they are. How they are refreshing cinema, if we can call it like this. It's not really
I understand what you mean.
Because the scenes you mentioned, we've never seen something like this before, and they do.
No, never.
They're pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I was wrong. The tomato is still 8.6 for the critics, and it went down for the audience. But
okay.
Half the people are.
It's a great series that should go up for the Emmys. It's like you guys said. When I prepared this recording it's a joy to dig into it. It's a lot. It cost me a lot of time to prepare this, and sometimes I feel like, oh, why do they have to put in so much? But at the same time, it's a joy because you learn a lot about filmmaking, and especially it's very interesting how they work with those. Each episode has its own theme and genre and subtext and all those kind of things. You really have to work for it. And that makes it interesting, I think, where, of course, there's a lot out there that just throws it in your face. And it's commendable because of course, that also makes that it alienates a very big target audience, I think, or very big audience that probably is not so interested in it.
Oh, people that like the kissing booth, for instance,
Like me. I like it all, yeah.
That's the reason story. Hey, guys, I have a question for you guys. Hoping that and realistically expecting to see Hippolyta and her daughter, of course, because the main thing she wanted to chase was, of course, what happened to her husband, and also with that dormitory, how do you call it? The star thing?
Orrery.
Orrery, sorry. Orrery, yeah, exactly. So do you guys expect, because we saw in the first 2 and 3 episodes, we saw Dracula from Bram Stoker. Do you guys expect to see George back?
Yeah, and I was thinking at the beginning like that, and now, well, I forgot a bit about it. But the fact that she's going back there, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, me too. Sven?
I missed your question. The connection was lost.
So the thing is, Sven, maybe Bas can explain it better.
If George will come back now that Hippolyta is going to Devon County, will we see George return?
Yeah, his favorite book also was Dracula from Bram Stoker.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Well,
expect something
different form, maybe. But
yeah, exactly. Maybe something else. Yeah.
That's a question we hold for next time, because next week we will be back with episode 6. We will recap that one too. We will review that one too. We will break it down as well. So if you want to stay updated Lovecraft Country, everything Lovecraft Country, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you appreciated what we did here today, share it with a little like. And discuss with us all the nonsense or great things we did say in these videos in the comments. We like to discuss with you over here.
Anything you missed, put it also down there, please.
Yes, exactly. Guys, people watching, our international movie fans, I would say for now, sleep well, almost already here. And see you next time.
And audience, keep reacting. It's really thankful to read all your comments and your co-working in puzzling out these episodes.
Exactly. Definitely. We had a lot of great comments and also a lot of great personal stories, which is really great to read for us, and also educates us on certain topics as white Europeans. So yeah, keep it going. Bye, guys.
Bye.